another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is the show my people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. Is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's all we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will feel happen like I got blue skies. And nothing make people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count up. Wasted people, do your part, play a role, get where you need to. You can tune in from work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time? Call in, it's a show. It no matter even if you're at home. Just call in, call in, call in. WB. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is the show, my people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. Is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's all we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will feel happen like I got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB.
Good morning, Belize. Welcome to the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for Monday, 16th December 2024. And we hope that your Monday morning and your new week is lifting beautifully. Of course, we are very honored and proud that you are starting your wonderful day right here with us at Creme Radio and XTV. I am your host this morning, Mose Hyde. And as always, we give thanks for health and strength that we can be here with you, and of course that you can be with us, whether it is you've arrived via Creme Radio, watching us on XTV, getting us via our apps, and of course our social media streams, those getting us via simulcast coverage. Well, you know, hop on. We love it. The more, the merrier, they say. Right now, we want to get things rolling before we get into the main event. We've got to start off with what we call the warm-ups. We've got the morning news coming your way in a short while. Of course, we lead off with the weather forecast from the National Meteorological Service. And so, buckle up. We hope that you've got great health. Your energy is high this morning, vibrations positive, and you've got space in your morning routine. Chill with a little bit, reason with a little bit, and find out what the weather is going to look like today. Right here. That's where it starts. Tariq Max's forecaster tells us what Monday looks like and feels like.
In Belize, generally fair weather conditions prevail. The 24-hour forecast, sunny skies with a few cloudy spells today and cloudy at times tonight. Shower activity will be generally isolated, with a few more mainly over some coastal areas late tonight. The maximum temperatures for today will reach 82 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 83 inland and 70 up in the hills. The low temperatures for tonight will be around 72 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 66 inland and 63 up in the hills. The winds will be from the north-northwest at 5 to 15 knots, and the sea conditions will be light chop to choppy. A high tide will occur this morning at 11:21, a low tide this evening at 4:02, another high tide tonight at 10:20, and another low tide early tomorrow morning at 5:57. The sun will rise this morning at 6:16 and will set this evening at 5:21. The moon will set this morning at 7:36 and will rise this evening at 6:48. The outlook for Tuesday and Tuesday night: skies will be cloudy at times. A few showers or periods of light rain will affect mainly coastal areas at first. Then shore activity will be scattered around the country Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday night, the showers will decrease on the mainland and be mostly along the coast late. For more details on our forecast, please visit our website at nms.gov.bz. With that, we end this morning's forecast from the Belize National Met Service.
The first radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
And now we serve up the stories making the headlines this morning. Police apprehended Curtis Molina, also known as Garbert Anzus, in connection with the triple murder of his cousin Elvis Garbert Sr., his wife Emerita Garbert, and their son Elvis Garbert Jr. They were found shot to death just before 9 p.m. Saturday on a feeder road in Monkey River Village in the Stanquick district. The family, including a preteen daughter, Eliana, had been inside their red Jeep Liberty on the dead-end road. When reports are that Molina arrived, he sprayed the vehicle with gunshots, hitting all four and even the family's dog in the backseat. Eliana was able to escape and run back to the village, where she reported to her uncle what transpired. Reports are that she was injured to the hand. She is receiving treatment. Reports are that Molina was later detained by police in a dory. Reports are that the weapon believed to have been used has been found. While no motive has been officially discussed, reports are that there is an element of robbery behind the unthinkable crime. Information received is that the deceased had saved up money to make a big purchase and Molina found out. Others have also pointed to Molina's questionable character as someone who often caused trouble in the village. The first GST-free weekend, which is a new initiative from the government to benefit consumers battered by a high cost of living, occurred this past Saturday and Sunday, and there were mixed reviews about the initiative. Ultimately, however, one benefit is that shoppers were religiously looking at their receipts to establish if the 12.5% tax had been removed from taxable items. In general, most people often ignore looking at their receipts after their purchases. Consumers flooded Facebook timelines sharing their experience at the store. In many instances, they reported cases where stores, which due to their size are presumed to pay GST, were not granting consumers the benefit. They shared all their different explanations provided by the businesses as to why they were not complying. The way things played out also betrayed much confusion about how the tax measure should work. In one case, one business posted that due to their software, it was time-consuming to prepare for the tax-free days. Another business indicated their way to work it out, having the customer sign their receipt and the one kept by the store to confirm that the tax was uncollected. Likewise, there was confusion on the part of consumers who seemed to be unaware of what our basic food items are already zero-rated and to which tax would not apply. In another case, an employee of the Belize Tax Service was given a receipt showing an incorrect date, and that led the service to urge customers to also be mindful of the date on their receipts. The government has said that those businesses who choose to open on the GST-free weekends and who do not comply with the measure will be penalized. There will be a final GST-free weekend this coming weekend. On Friday, the government of Belize introduced legislation to replace the law that outlines how all laws are revised and amending. The purpose is to modernize the system of editing, revising, and consolidating existing legislation and ensure that citizens are aware when changes are made and are able to access the updated laws of Belize. It also introduces a law reform commission that will oversee the systematic review of our laws on a periodic basis. The bill was introduced by Minister Henry Charles Usher, responsible for political and constitutional reform.
Consolidating and updating the body of laws that are passed by this National Assembly is a necessary and important function of government. This is necessary, Madam Speaker, as once a law is enacted, all and sundry are expected to know that the law exists. For Madam Speaker, as the old maxim goes, ignorance of the law is no excuse. So, Madam Speaker, when a new law is passed which makes a particular act a crime or imposes certain obligations on a person, every citizen is bound by the law and cannot, if he or she is found wanting, say that I was unaware of that law. It may become complicated and more difficult for citizens when the National Assembly, as has been the case in recent times, Madam Speaker, enacts a wide range of laws quite frequently. Just for the record, Madam Speaker, between 2008 to 2012, 97 pieces of legislation were enacted. During the period 2012 to 2015, 72 pieces of legislation were enacted. Between 2015 to 2020, some 161 pieces of legislation were enacted. Madam Speaker, during your tenure as Speaker, you have presided over an even greater number of laws have been passed. During this current legislative period, some 179 pieces of legislation and counting have been enacted by this government.
Belize's laws have only been revised twice. Minister Usher affirmed that this has been insufficient. He also went into more detail on the role the Commission would play.
Experience has shown that the consolidating and updating of our current body of laws needs a further mechanism. That is, in addition to consolidating the laws, our laws must meet with emerging societal issues and new legal challenges or shifts in policy direction. This is achieved through a law reform process. And Madam Speaker, a law reform commission is an essential tool for facilitating this dynamic evolution of a country's legal framework. In the context of Belize, the creation of a law reform commission will provide several advantages. It would enable Belize to regularly review and reform laws in response to changes in society, the economy, technology, and international obligations. This proactive approach would ensure that Belize's legal system remains relevant, efficient, and responsive to the needs of the country's citizens. This commission, Madam Speaker, would ideally include a chairperson with expertise in the law, commissioners with diverse legal backgrounds, for example, constitutional law, criminal law, human rights law, commercial law, etc., and a research staff with specialized knowledge in various legal fields. With a dedicated commission, the process of law reform can be more comprehensive and streamlined, ensuring that necessary reforms are not overlooked. The Law Reform Commission would also ensure that legal changes are implemented in a consistent and organized manner, avoiding piecemeal revisions that may cause confusion or overlap.
New law revision is set to begin in January 2025. Last week, Minister of Agriculture Jose Mai reported that animal feed was provided to cattle farmers in areas which have been impacted by the flooding occasioned by the passage of Tropical Storm Sara on the weekend of November 17th. According to the minister, the effort was organized by the ministry, the Belize Livestock Producers Association, and other organizations to assist farmers who lost their provision of feed. A complete assessment of flood damages in the agriculture sector has not yet been concluded, as areas within the Belize River Valley are still underwater. And that is the end of this morning news update. We will take ourselves a small break, and when we come back on the other side, we're going to open up for a conversation. You're listening to Creme Radio, and of course you're watching XTV. All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's Monday morning, the 16th of December 2024, and ready again. We are open for the business of conversation, which means you can call in, express your thoughts and views. We have our phone line, it's available for you at 280-5848. You just use the line and call in, and it's all going to be there for you to get your chance to state your case and your point, what you feel, what you think. And we are here open for the business of conversation right up until 9 this morning. Don't feel obligated to speak on matters that I might be speaking on or others might be engaging on. You could do your own thing. We have our first call of the morning. Good morning, WB.
Yes, good morning, brother.
Good morning.
I would like to know when government would maybe have a final solution to what's occurring on the George Price Highway as it relates to the damages to the street. It would seem that every time we are basically fixing, perhaps be addressing the same issue. Every time it rains, the street becomes a deplorable condition. The holes get bigger, and of course this adds to wear and tear to your vehicle. I would like to know if it is that, we have persons who have the capacity to find a solution to this issue in particular, because we are wasting resources and vehicles are being damaged, and the mechanics are the ones that are laughing. Of course, it is not their fault, but it is the fault of the government for not putting in place proper infrastructure. It can't be that, we're spending money for the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. I am not fortunate enough like GOB for when the situation or the need arise for me to take my vehicle for a little mechanic. Right? I work on a budget or operate on a budget for the month, and that is what will do for me until otherwise. Thank you.
All right, brother. Respect. Yeah, so we've spoken about this. In fact, I saw the chief engineer from the Ministry of Infrastructure on another station speaking on the reason for the road breaking up, speaking about the George Price Highway, and I think he's speaking especially about that piece going towards Halover. And I know the entrance moving once you pass the ADM, the flour mill area, and go up to the main entrance, the town there, it's horrible. I know that they had done some work a couple weeks ago on that piece, probably past Horizon Academy, the school there towards Halover. Coming into town was in a bad shape. They did some work on that, and all that work has deteriorated very quickly. The chief engineer indicated that the reason for that is because the word he used was peat. That area, it's not really, the ground is not firm and there's water under there, and that compromises the integrity of whatever they do. One of the things we have asked for is for there to be some kind of audit to show how much resources, financial, money has been spent on this piece of road. Because I have known maybe about 3 or 4 significant efforts, and then of course all the little fixed jobs that they have done on this stretch of road. Now, I'm not an engineer. I ain't really know what peat is. Peat for blame. Not Peter, but peat. P-E-A-T. So peat is the problem on the road. But again, from my understanding, that is generally more up on the George Price Highway, but not on the entrance. But maybe that's the same there. Either way, it breaks easily, and it is a main thoroughfare into town, connects the most populous city with expanded areas of living in outskirt communities, Ladyville all the way up to Sand Hill. Thousands of people come in every day. It is also the road that connects the only international airport we have in the country. And so it is one that it's a problem that has to be solved. And it obviously requires that it be solved in a way that you don't have to come back 6 months afterward and put more money on it. And I was just waiting for all the festivities of the season to be done away with, and we would invite the chief engineer to come on the show to hear exactly well, how much money we don't spend, and if we had spent that money properly in the first place, would we be here? But definitely, caller, your concerns are definitely on point. Ultimately, it is the people who are driving who pay the price for the condition of the road. The wear and tear absolutely is true. And yes, the financial cost, but there's also the additional aspect of the way that the vehicle is being compromised, because not everybody has the money right away to try to deal with the parts that are impacted by this kind of broken up whole, we're called these pothole-ridden portions of the highway. The portion of the vehicle that takes the biggest lick is the part that really controls the steering and the front end of your vehicle. And people are not always having the resources to replace those parts, the front end parts. They're not the most. And you see, it's not only that up and down. You also have the compromising aspect of driving through water. A lot of the water that you will drive through is water that has salt in it, because it's right. A lot of this is taking place, so you don't realize it very often, but you're the seaside, even if you're not the city sea. And so all these things compromise the integrity of your front end system, which controls the steering. And so sometimes we see an accident take place on the road, and you're never told that it's because of these systems getting compromised. So it's not only the financial burden of having to replace parts, but what happens when you are unable to replace these parts and you have these broken up front end issues with your ride. You're talking here about safety and well-being. So it is not some matter it's not a back burner issue, and we need, obviously the caller conceded that he's not an expert on building a road that is going to be able to deal with whatever the environmental challenges on this stretch of road, but obviously one would hope that we have people who have this expertise and they understand that this is where money has to be spent to make sure that we don't have to be doing a thing 1,000 times over again. Again, the telephone number is 280-5848. It's really a shocking truth that we could have had a weekend like last weekend, and then to have the immediate weekend afterwards, something that takes away the community's concern and energy, deal with something else of almost similar magnitude as it relates to being shocking, like consecutive weekends to be shocked. To imagine that within a week we would have a case where we lose 10 Belizeans, mostly young people, a toddler, to a traffic accident, a horrible collision, and less than 7 days after that, we are forced to not be talking about it. We spent the last week talking about traffic and the realities on our highway, the dangers and all the things that need to be done, and there was just this flooding of concerns and ideas, and everybody was speaking up. We were moved by it, and then just less than 7 days after, you have to deal with some deranged individual making an attempt to wipe out a family, and accomplished a lot of that. Some individual in a village that we only hear about, Monkey River, when the matter of coastal erosion comes up. Many people have never been to Monkey River. Those of us who've been to Monkey River know that Monkey River is one, it's like it's a small village now. It once used to be a very populated, robust, almost the center of the South at some point in time. It was a town really, right? In its heyday. It's no longer that. It's a small community, and it doesn't have a lot of streets, right? It's like you are absolutely connected, and also you have to cross the river to really get into Monkey River. You don't just drive right into Monkey River. That's all. It's a very unique community, close-knitted. To get the news over the weekend that some dude killed 3 members of a family, the father, the mother, a child, and injured one, killed the family dog in their vehicle, sprayed it with gunshots. Motives unclear at this point. But what's not unclear is that this is a madman. So you come off for one weekend where you have ugliness on the highway, we have this terrible news, and then we have to, within 7 days, shift to look at, my goodness, what up? What the hell? This Pedro decided here and wipe out our family off of the face of the earth. For what? It's a madman. Absolute madman. And everybody, we're in the Christmas season, and all this, how you all like go. I don't want to grinch out myself, but the reality is that no excuses can be made for that, and obviously everything can't be right with the brother, whatever. We don't know what the motive was. What we know is that there is no motive. No motive. There is no motive that can in any way create any understanding for somebody that goes off like that. I mean, we had the last attack on our family. I know it occurred in Belmopan. Again, there seemed to have been some quarrel that happened. But man, to kill anyone is a horrible act, but to decide that you are going to waste away all moving beings and an entire family is to have lost your mind. To have absolutely lost your mind. And so it's really shocking when something of this, we are Belizeans, so unfortunately we are used to murders. We are as used to murders as we used to fried jack and rice and beans, chicken and salad. Murders are something we used to, right? We average triple digits now for almost 2.5 decades. We are guaranteed that we are hit the century mark every single year. We know murders. And we know murders in a different varieties and settings and motives. I mean, that we lose people by violence and gunshot like very few countries on the face of the earth. So we're kind of numb to things with numb a little bit to violence, but I'm sure that when people really, and we can make the assumption, we know most people who are, say, intense social media users and people where, you have them people who still turn on any radio and make sure they know the news, but other people, we can come and plug out and even the bother with all of that. So we have some people who might not even know this until maybe later on today, maybe not till this evening, or maybe right now, only now knowing when they hear myself talking about it. So we understand this. But for most who found out about this over the weekend, this was definitely something that made the weekend, as last weekend, a very unpleasant reality, unpleasant, ugly, shocking, painful dose of reality of Belize 2024. And I should have started out by, of course, expressing complete solidarity and our sincerest condolences to the family. I can't imagine what it is to have an attack like this take place on your family. We can only imagine, but we don't. If you don't feel this, you don't know it, like the people who have to walk in this, and we just know that this is a unbelievably painful and sad time for the family and friends, and to that entire community. Just as it was for the most of last week out in the twin township of San Ignacio and Santa Elena, they spent last week grieving. And now we move all of that down south, and Monkey River, we imagine. We actually, we spent a reef week in Monkey River. I think it might have been about 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. A really special time for us. We were there for an entire week. With the crew, we were there. We covered the, documenting the erosion that has hit that village. A real painful reality. We spoke about Monkey River, in fact, just last week. That matter came up in a conversation we were having. I believe inaccurately, erroneously, as being a kind of a case, climate change based thing, when the issues that really created that were not really climate change related. Obviously climate change is making matters worse. So we were speaking about Monkey River last week. It's the only time Monkey River comes up, really. So it's sad, and again, condolences going out to the family. It's 7:15 on this Monday morning. This is WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. And just to remind you that our telephone line is open for you at 280-5848. And, I think because of the caller, I jumped in the deep end quicker than I wanted to. I really wanted to just expressed our thank yous to all the folks who contributed with sponsorships and giveaways to our Zinc Moss Christmas program that was on Creme Radio and XTV for the past 7 days. It had its grand finale last night. We want to thank all the entertainers who participated and performed, gave of their energies, and of course to the entire team and crew and the people who listened and watched. Absolutely, it's for you. And so you being present, it really, to the people who called in, the people who want stuff, well, you got stuff. It's good for you. Again, though, to the sponsors, to the advertisers who enables a production like that to take place, we just want to say a big thank you for that. And while we are on the housekeeping, let me just take the time out to remind you that we do have, now that we have ticked the box on our Christmas production, we have to look ahead now to January 1st, where we have the 34th Creme New Year's Day Cycling Classic, which comprises of 3 races in one: the male elite, the female and juniors. The male elite takes place from Corozal, comes all the way down to Belize City. The race starts at 9 a.m. and it's the one time being runner-up is not a bad thing. We have the runner-up cycling event. So of course, the untouchable Holy Saturday Cross Country Cycling Classic, which is this enormous tradition. We don't runner-up, and we don't mind be runner-up to that. Consistency and the race, of course, has all the stories building up the tradition. Just 34 years, right? But 35th year, but 34th, because there was 1 year we didn't have because of COVID. So with a build up, quite a tradition now, and of course the defending champion is John DeLong. And actually this morning we're scheduled to have via Zoom the second place rider last classic, January 1st. Corey Williams will be joining us via Zoom. We were talking about last year's race, not last year's race, but this year's race, because January 1st is this year, as well as his big Caribbean championship that he won, representing Belize, which we feel has not been properly appreciated and celebrated. So we're going to be doing a little bit about that later on in the show around 8 o'clock or so. So make sure you tune in for that. All right. It's 19 minutes after 7 o'clock inside the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We're going to go to 2 Cents Calm, sponsored by Fort Point Security, and take our first break of the morning. We come back, we're going to go off into the deep end of the pool, as they say. And then imagine we got a system where 5 away get to choose one person, and then the next 45 away get to choose the next person. It means that 5 persons have the same say as 45 persons. It means that if you in a group of 45 will select one person to go up on the farm to get the fruits, you are underrepresented and you are not as equal as the 5 will get to choose the next person to go on the farm to harvest the fruit. That the problem that the Constitution tries to remedy. That you don't have one situation where the weight of one set of voters is far less than the weight of the vote of another set of voters, because it matters when it comes to harvesting the fruits. So if we don't want a country where pride itself seeking out to be equal and just and fair, this is one of the most important considerations where pride begins. So this matter of redistricting, it's the word misleading because it make you think that we talk about Corozal and Orange Walk and Toledo and Cayo and Stan Creek. That's not that we talk about when we say redistricting. Really and truly what it is that make it equal again. Make it equal and fair again. So whenever you hear the term redistricting, not think about Toledo and Cayo and Stan Creek and so. Think with the talk about make it equal. I hear that say make it again. That sounds like Donald Trump. Make the thing equal. That's all. That's what it is. Make it equal. Now, if you're the one of the 5 as compared to one of the 45, you love and you okay with it because it not hurt you. It not hurt you. You have more power, more say, more value. If you're the one of the 45, well, you get the you know what end of the stick. But all of us supposed to have one consciousness that we want to create. I hope that we want to create one country, a society where we want to be equal, where your say equals my say. That we say we want to create. And if that's the way we want to create, then nobody, even the 5 will have the betterment of it right now, should want that to be the case, because they know while not hurt me, it hurt Uno. And that can't work. And the Constitution says the responsibility that we make sure that this not get out of whack. Everybody know that it has been out of whack for a while. And every election come and there has been this gross malpractice of the democracy to fix it. Lot of talking, lot of mouth, we want to do it. Give it till the end of the year. Give it till the next time. Give it till then. We need more time. And this non-political party-aligned movement, Belize Peace Movement, Belizean, say, but we not do it. and they start challenge from the previous administration. So you can't accuse the Belize Peace Movement of the work on behalf of any political party. They not just they try to get government to deal with this matter. They never start out, they go to court. They start out just they advocate, they point out the error of our way, the wrong, the unfair, the unequal aspect of our democracy. But nobody never studied it. Again, they decide, well, what we might do? Just talk? We can't just continue to talk because words no matter. So then they do the next thing that is available to them within our society when you want to force change behavior. Then decide we're going to court. So court, that never the first thing they do. The first thing they do that just say, man, when you wrong, the Constitution said this, and then it do that. I don't know how many people in a peace movement. Let's say you got 100 and 150 people in a peace movement. But whether they try change, that not for benefit the 150 members in the police peace movement. Whether they try change, that for benefit thousands on top of thousands. And ultimately, by making government do what it's supposed to do, that will make one of the most important bedrock of our democracy get addressed, to make it equal, as close to equal as we could make it, so that ultimately benefit every single one away. So their long journey to try to get this thing corrected never start last week or the month before or last year, man, them, brother, they've been a broken record on this. And nobody really, it's not like you got anybody where really get up the morning to worry about this. They set a man or woman here, worry about it enough to put their money where their mouth there. Then decide they're going to find an attorney and raise the funds book and say, we have to go in a court on this. To make the people that really pay, starting with the elections and boundaries people, do what the Constitution said it's supposed to do. So, what the peace movement they do, they don't attack upon government, Mr. Prime Minister. They don't attack upon your party. They want to attack upon the irregular, wrong, unfair, unequal, neglect, and malpractice of the present alignment of voters to constituency. They are attacking something that is wrong. They are attacking negligence. They are attacking malpractice. They know they attack the government. In fact, they've been at the doors of those in power even before you come to power. Now the peace movement have people were eloquent, intelligent, educated, where could represent for the case far better than I could represent it. But I have a responsibility as somebody in this space to say that we, you, me, whether non-members of the Belize Peace Movement, to make we recognize the value and on whose behalf the peace movement, the work. as one non-peace movement member, I have to stand up and say the peace movement's effort done up on the behalf of a political party. I am absolutely confident when I say that. And when they do, done up on behalf of having anything personal with anybody in power. They, on this matter, stand on the side of what is right. On this matter, the peace movement stands on what is fair and what is necessary, and what they are calling ugly is ugly. What they are calling negligence is negligence. What they are calling unacceptable is unacceptable. And the problem here is not the Belize Peace Movement. The problem here is not the voice that says those who lead have a responsibility to set the example of being compliers with the Constitution, defenders of the Constitution, doing it properly, even when it's an uncomfortable fit for your personal priorities and ambitions. Yes, the status quo, comfortable, but that no mean it right. And the change of tone might hurt one couple too, but that's life. It won't be wrong. It is not wrong. What is wrong is that we are saying here we're going to enter a new election cycle where a bunch of voters have one lesser weight and value by far enough for their vote than another set of voters. And it is not something that has been pointed out last month. It is not something that was pointed out last year. Like, let's say the man come just after September and just they say what they say, and right away they run the court. You could say, man, then it be unreasonable. You can't accuse me of being unreasonable. They not just start call this out. And respective governments have had ample time. This is not a matter of time. And again, I spent a morning calling this aspect out. It is not the people who are participating in the electoral process who are to take the lead. The defenders of this starts with the people who are professionally engaged at elections and boundaries. That's the reason we got on there. The political directorate is not supposed to be dictating to elections and boundaries. How could it be that you could actually have people surrender in comfort zone voluntarily insofar as their constituency and how it's shaped and who they in it and who not they in it? That's why you have the referee. That's why you have the regulatory instrument. That's why we have the department, the commission. And if what you have put forward has been done properly, you've done your due diligence and you've put it out, if it's being refused, you need to, on our behalf, stand and be heard. But it's completely subordinate meaning under the control of the political directorate. And that's a huge flaw. So we are fortunate, we, Belize people, me, you, and the people we know, and everybody else we don't know, we are fortunate. Not in everything, but in this matter, we should be thankful that we have a bunch of non-politically aligned individuals who are steadfast, who are committed, and who have been loud, courageous, and clear. This cannot continue. Yes, there are other things that need the same treatment. Of course, we need, it's not that Belize Peace Movement is not doing a bunch of other things, it's that we don't have a bunch of other peace movements advocating in a similar way, in a consistent, committed way, desiring only a better place to live in. That when your democracy actually take deep breaths upon your own. That the whole of democracy show vital signs. When the people who are on the ground trying to shape it and fix it are not only based on the ambition or only the ones who will ultimately take up these offices of great power. No, it's when everyday people understand I participate in the process of governance. Now we know democracy, quote unquote, lives. So we are blessed to have the Belize Peace Movement in this regard. And we should understand at the very least, even if redistricting no matter to we, having citizens were so committed to a better way for we, that's something that we have to appreciate in real time, when it happen, and stand up and be heard in its defense. They're not a sexy topic. They're not one where I create 1 million and one social media comments and posts. Sensational, sexy, as Mr. David would often say. But it doesn't make it any less critical and valuable. And I am very concerned that we are not, at the very least, lending our voices of solidarity to the peace movement. I'm concerned that the other parts of what they call civil society have not raised their volume in support of the Belize peace movement. Very concerned that we appear willing to squander great commitment from fellow citizens. And now they are being called and looked upon as being the attackers, when really and truly they are the defenders of what is right and proper, equal and fair. We go to break, we come back. right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for Monday, 16th December 2024. And we're changing a little bit. We do have to build up the our big event coming up in a matter of weeks. January 1st, the second greatest cycling tradition in the country, the Creme New Year's Cycling Classic, is going to take place. And we are joined by Zoom by one of our most talented and one of our most accomplished young riders, even though he has not won this event. He came pretty close on January 1st, but he has done some big things this year, and so we found it good to have via Zoom Corey Williams. Corey, good morning and welcome to the show. Thanks for being available. I know it's a bit on the early side in California.
Good morning. Yeah, I woke up 5:30.
Yeah, Corey, I felt and still feel that you have not gotten the flowers you're supposed to get for, I don't even know how many Belizeans are aware that you achieved something really historic and grand in cycling on our behalf. Like, it got so very little coverage in the media that you won the Caribbean Cycling Championship. Is it something that you've noticed that, hey, like it's not gotten, or does it matter to you?
I mean, my whole career, even over here in America, there's not a lot of recognition for many of the things that I accomplished. So no, not really. Whoever want to give the flowers, then I'll receive them and I'll say thank you. But it's not, I don't do it to be recognized. So yeah, the accomplishment is really big for me. It's the biggest race I've ever won. So I'm super proud of it.
So people to understand, the Caribbean Cycling Championship, I think, was held in Guyana?
Yes, it was in Guyana.
It was in Guyana. It was a multi stage. It had a time trial with it?
A time trial, yes. The time trial. Well, I was third in the time trial.
And then there was a road race?
Yeah, the road race was 98 miles on a circuit.
All right. And so we had riders from around the Caribbean. And
yes.
And this is the first time that you have competed in this race?
No, so I competed in 2022, so it's my second time competing in the event.
All right. Now, to some extent, even though you've accomplished a lot for yourself in your own right, you're often looked upon as Justin's younger brother. Is that okay with you, or is it something you say, guess what, I gotta make my own name? Is that a kind of motivation for you, Corey?
No, it's not a motivation for me. I'm always going to be Justin's younger brother. It's not until people look into the results and the stats that they're going to see that I am an accomplished rider myself. I've won nationals in Belize the amount of times that I've competed in it. So I think I'm building my own legacy, and I don't mind standing alongside Justin.
Right. Now, I got to ask, because we didn't get a chance to speak to you January 1st. And for those who listen to the broadcast, they know that I had to confess to the public that once you got out in front and we were past Halover Bridge, I actually drank a beer in celebration. For us it matters, and for us, knowing that a Belizean rider, and I say Belizean with a double line under it, with an exclamation mark, it wins the race, it means something. So I drank a little beer, knowing that even if you were caught, based on what I've heard, nobody's going to outsprint you for the win. unfortunately, sports can be you know what, and it didn't work out that way. Is it one of your most disappointing results, like to not have sealed that race?
I think you jinxed me drinking that beer, but no. So basically, last year I changed teams, I had to change bikes, change shoes, and just changing everything really messes with you, right? Because you're using different muscles, you got to get used to the equipment. That's a move that usually I'm comfortable with. I was looking at my power numbers, and I wasn't doing anything spectacular, so I started cramping probably 2K to go. And when they caught me, I didn't have anything left, so it didn't matter who was there. They probably were going to beat me in the sprint. So when Baby Chav and Justin came across along with John, I expected one of them to win. But they just let us go up the road, and yeah, I didn't have the legs. It was pretty disappointing, but it's cycling. You lose a lot, so you have to really get used to that.
No, I don't even really want to deal with. I know that there's been chaos to some extent. Even people outside of the immediate cycling fraternity might not know because it doesn't really get a lot of publicity like that. But there's been some ups and downs, of course. Every now and then, some of it reaches. I know there's been some stuff that took place after the cross country. Cycling always has its fair share of controversy and in-house quarreling, and we often say, listen, it's almost like a prerequisite to be a good standing citizen of the cycling community and Belize for know how to get a good argument and quarrel, and when controversy comes, there's no stranger to cycling. Like it's always. So I don't really want to delve into all of that, but what I want to really reach out when it and the whole aspect of the whole question about your Belizeanness, you understand, that's done for me. That's yesterday's argument. Like that's not even a question. But now talking about legacy, Corey, here in Belize, like whatever the quarrel has been, still Justin is still like, he has iconic status. Like his name is on the cross country, and he's won it more than once, and his legacy is secure. And yes, he didn't need that, but you're a part of a family where cross country is it's you know what it means. So it's not like you're a stranger to the value of having this as a part of your legacy. So I know that even though you might act all Mr. Cool Corey, I know you want your garland. Like you want, like the Nationals, unfortunately, as important a race as it is, it really doesn't get the kind of hype and publicity that the cross country gets insofar as its historical value. And then the January 1st race, there's the whole media complex that we have here is behind that race. So it's a bright light. Mm-hmm. You must feel, you can't tell me you don't feel under pressure for take one and then home to California, bro.
Yeah, I mean the first one that we won in 2015, I believe, when Justin won. I was more focused on helping him win. Obviously, he's my older brother, and I need to get him one before I pursue winning. I feel like last year I kind of let my guard down and let the race get away from me. I had good legs, but yeah, for sure, I'm going after it hard and training from now. So we'll see what happens when it comes around. But yeah, 100%, I want to win a cross country.
Now, I'm not certain whether you guys are actually going to be in the race January 1st. I spoke to your dad, and he says you're still trying to work out tickets. Of course, we are very interested and are very hopeful that you guys will be a part of the race. We pray that you guys will be able to be in it. But how are you right now in form, and what have you been doing, racing and so on?
Yeah, we don't have any racing going on right now, but I definitely have been training specifically just for next year. January 1st is a bit early, but I always come around on form pretty early, so it's not a problem for me. I would love to do well in the race. I think I should have takes right now. I've been doing a lot of hours, so I think the only thing that will be, kind of rough is the speed, but I think strength is a little bit more important at this time of the year.
All right. As far as it relates to the whole team, how are things constituted right now? You're riding with Justin. What is it looking like right now?
I'm still on the Miami Blazers, so Justin's on Legion. We're not racing together.
All right. So there's always that kind of like people. Let's say if you guys are in a race, even if you're representing the Miami Blazers and Justin is representing his team, like the two of them Kalman son, push come to shove, we don't want to be for one another. So it's like we don't want to be a team, no matter what. Like that's hard to believe that one of guys would have ever. I guess maybe that foreign, but once in the corner believes that like there's only one team if Corey and Justin there in the race.
I think that based on what we have, like competition there, you have to work with the good riders. Like it's not just Justin that we're gonna work with. You get a group with a bunch of good guys, you're all teammates until later down in the road. So push come to shove, if it come down to a sprint, I'm gonna sprint against Justin. We do it all. It's just
come on now, Corey. Come on now, Corey. Come on now. That I don't believe. With due respect, like if you and Justin were to come in, say for example, for the cross country and able to get away, I know what the result would be. Like 100. I know Justin is going to let you go ahead and take your garden. Like there is no way that Justin is going to try to stop you from getting that garden. Like that's not going to happen. Listen, I have brothers. I know how we would be. So you can't tell me that.
Hey, I've been in bike races where Justin biked through me, so you could watch. I could send you a bike race where me and Justin sprint full to the line and he biked through me. Big races here. So
yeah,
I mean, in cross country, I helped him already. So I think he owed me some help. But for sure, we race each other.
Well, we're not even going to jump ahead. Like I said, I can't speak definitively about January 1st because you guys are still working it out. And again, I think what happens.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
You're gonna make it. Okay. Obviously, I think very likely. I don't know. We're gonna try to reach out to John to get him on the show as well. I don't know what his plans are, if he's gonna come in for the race or not. But hopefully he will. Every good script needs a good villain, and not saying that John is a bad person. I'm just saying that within the script of the race, of course, we don't want John to win. But we want John to race, and we want the best for him, except we don't want him to win. And I've been honest, and I've been honest with him. I've called him the boogeyman. He that's the role that he plays. But from a standpoint of view as a rider, just looking at where the field, like you've been coming here obviously for many years. Do you feel that the riders who are based here in Belize, who are developing here, do you feel like our riders are getting better? We know that there's been a push to get them to ride more regional races and getting out. Do you think that being that you're competing with them, do you feel like we have a general improvement in how riders are doing?
Yeah, I see it all the time, especially at Caribbean Championships. Like the amount of help that I got there is outstanding. And like you said, I've been racing with them for a long time, and you can see the younger guys are coming up, and they're really strong. I think even Oscar, like, he's just improving, and I think he was that light for those guys over there, and they all wanted to catch up to him, and I think they're really close now. So yeah, I'm super proud of the guys over there. We're gonna bring them over to America to do some of the stage racing here. And give them a little bit more competition so they can see what it's like, you know?
No, Corey. One of the things that I feel we've kind of been kind of chronically deficient is how to organize as a team. Like, we have the individual talent, individual riders, but bad habits die hard. Our racing, its DNA is, man for himself, individual riders, and the team concept and team strategy, knowing when you've got to sacrifice, knowing who has to sacrifice, and getting that organized quickly and promptly on time has been deficient. I see it very often when we do these races. How do you feel that can be addressed, and how that can be improved upon?
I think it's with the level of the entire peloton, right? So if you have, let's say there's 15 guys in Belize that are really good, right? And that's why you always see breakaways. I think when the entire pack get better and everybody have to worry about everybody, then that's when you have to use your team more. But I think right now, like, the races in Belize, they mostly come down to breakaways because the gap between the good guys and the pack is too big right now. And I think when that comes down, that's when, like, people are going to have to learn team tactics, because then you can't win a race by yourself.
Oh, that's a very profound analysis. Like, I've not heard that before, and it makes a lot of sense. Like, I know that we have the problem, but I felt it was because we don't have a developed strategy in the management of the team. It's more kind of just an intuitive thing. But I did not see that disparity as being a kind of a hindrance to developing better team riding. I never thought of that. That's very insightful, very informing. That, I guess, that kind of insight comes from, this is what you do. I thank you for that. That's a gem right there, Brother Corey. That's a gem. I am enlightened. It's like you can't pay for knowledge, brother. Like, you just drop some heavy knowledge on me. Yeah, that's real. That's real. But listen. Like you said, you're going to be here for January 1st. We're looking forward to that, of course. And hope you guys are ready to give a lot of trouble on the road. I know for sure your dad is going to be giving a lot of trouble on the road. The man and the customer know. I hope you're in tune. Big up yourself, Carmen, and thanks for coordinating. Thanks for joining in Korea. All the best for the holidays to you and your family, okay?
Thank you so much for having me. And
congratulations on a huge victory in the Caribbean Cycling Championship, which has somehow flown completely under the radar. For people who profess that we love cycling and always moan and groan and weep and gnashing of teeth when we lose the garland, for us not to just really be proud of this moment when, for once we are the ones who went outside and did the beating rather than somebody coming here. Like, we should make more noise and a bit more, so more champagne for boss. But just saying. Corey, congratulations. It's a huge victory. We're proud of you, brother, and continue the good work.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
We're going to take a break and come back. Wake Up Billy's Morning Vibes. All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. The telephone number is 280-5848. That's a live line for you to jump into a conversation. It's Monday morning, 16 December 2024. Mose, Hyde in the house. Just a quick reminder, we want you to know, build up the anticipation for the Creme New Year's Day Cycling Classic. Comes up in a couple of weeks. It's January 1st. That's when it happens, and it's from the border control in Corozal near free zone, and comes all the way. That's the male elite version of the race. The female version and the junior versions come from Orange Walk separately, and it all finishes near the junction of the Mahogany Street and the Boulevard, and we're looking forward to that. The defending champion for the male elite is John DeLong, and we just want you to get yourself prepped. You've been properly notified and you know what's happening, so we spend some time talking about that. Somebody asked if I could repeat the analogy that I used to try to make we understand why the efforts of the Belize Peace Movement as it relates to redistricting is such an important one. And I have said to some of the outstanding spokespersons for the Belize Peace Movement that sometimes a word can be a problem, and in this case it is. Redistricting is kind of misleading, you know, and make people understand what it is. That there's no redistricting, because we don't have electoral districts. We have electoral constituencies or divisions. So redistricting, sometimes somebody might, and we know it has happened. We know that some people, when they hear the word, then think you're talk about Toledo and Cayo and so on, and they don't really understand, well, what are the big issue and why it matters. And so to try to make more people understand like what it is, because I feel that once people understand, the more people understand it, and sometimes it's a matter of people don't have the time to really focus on anything where not readily make itself understandable, right? You know, like, I don't got time for that. But this is something that matter. This is something very critical and very important. And so the analogy I use, it's not perfect, but it kind of gives you a sense. So we know that one of the things about, for we democracy, when we're supposed to be representative, right? Like each constituency, division, send somebody to the house. And obviously the reason for that is that while the people are the government, every single body can go to the house. Every single body can go and run and vote and decide where happening in the country. Somebody represent one bunch away, right? We got 31 of them there right now. So if we broke it down into a more workable number, I say imagine we got a farm, and 50 of we own the farm, right? Now the farm lavish with fruits. The time for harvest, but all 50 of we can go there individually, like to go harvest the fruit. So we come up with an agreement that we will have somebody who will represent, we go up on the farm, go get the fruits. Imagine if out of that 50, 5 people get to choose one representative, and then the next 45 get to choose a representative to go on the farm to harvest the fruits. It means that you got one got the responsibility of 45, and then you got one have the responsibility of only 5. 5 having the say of a whole representative, and 45 having the say of only one representative as well. You could readily say repart the 45 have less power, less say, and they in a disadvantaged position as compared to the 5. So what the Constitution basically says is you can't get a 45 and 5 situation. If you got 50 and you only got slots for 2 representatives, then they have to be generally among the same amount of people to make them got the equal say and equal power. 25. You could even get away and say that he 27, 23. Man, you could say give and take that. But if it's too much, then people they get unfair, unequal, and just undervalue representation. And so this, as demanded by the Constitution, has been neglected. And the Belize Peace Movement is saying we can't neglect that. Even if it means that it's uncomfortable for you, the aspiring politician or the elected politician, it no matter. Even if it means that your leave comfort zone get shaved off, it no matter. We're important. We stand as the most important thing. The highest priority is that you know that one set of voters will not have the same value to their vote and same power like one other set. Lot of things wrong with the democracy. But this one here too obvious to the naked eye for your neglect. To do that, they're like, what's if we have a case of malpractice of governance? You can't do it. And it should not be allowed. And the fact that we got a citizen-based organization, we say, we want to take it on for the rest of people. We, the rest of the people, have to know who that for we. We have to say, yo, I don't really know, we don't know, I know some of the people that are going to tell about we got Paul Morgan, we got Bobby Lopez, there are so many people that reach out a part of the peace movement on a regular basis, and Will me hear a part of the peace movement. Like, you might not really know them or whatever, you might know, you know they're on your Christmas list, you know they're on for their Christmas list, no matter. What then they do when it comes to this? Benefit we. So we have to give an appreciation and value for it. That we know past solidarity belong. You know what we do? We don't know with that, brother, sister. Pan that matter, the work we want to do big. And we appreciate you. And we stand with you, pan. It's like 10 toes. This makes sense. This important. This has to be done. And not make this get looked upon as some kind of party political, whatever. It's like one thing get called out and the powerful, they're not comfortable, they're embarrassed by it, so they get defensive. Like, this is not that at all. Feelings don't matter here. What matter is things done right. Things done where emphasize trying to make it be fair and equal. That's always a work in progress. We know how that goes, but when something's so obvious, we can't make it, they smother it in our lot of smoke and confusion. And no, this is not that at all. Peace movement, that's not the problem. Peace movement, they're not some kind of attackers, some kind of, they in the business that try to smear nobody and they try to personal. Then they try to make something will get neglected, get dealt with. And so I was asked to kind of do that over again. Hopefully somebody able to get a better understanding and somebody able to could align themselves with the importance of this and with the work of the Belize Peace Movement, who again, we have to recognize as it's not, somebody say, why the peace movement not do this and why they not do that? The problem is not that the peace movement not do other things, is that we not have other organizations like the peace movement that do more things. Because that will happen a lot with we when you go on a group, try to do something, we readily want to call out that group for not do this or not do that, as if do that they do everything. I see happen with teachers, for example, every time something they for so the teachers do not protest this, so that only they for protest, that only they for stand up, just because they have stood up. No, we have one who will, when will others join and take up one case as well? Because to take this matter to court, the peace movement again, that was self-finance process. We have one call. Krem, good morning, WB.
Morning, Mose. Morning, Denise and Delicious. I don't have enough time. I just had to call you and to be in solidarity with you from what you said this morning. Like this, I truly honor the people and save the people. And on listening to WB, like I totally miss how much this administration, comes to the people and provide one space, this is like one press conference to flesh out issues where really matter to people and impact on everyday life. And when this state gets comfortably doing it, has this asset totally comfortable, and then when you don't have more opposition, because that's the reason why you should have more strong and healthy opposition party. So like, they don't got no party, they don't got no opposition, so like, we free and clear, we don't have to tell them the numbers. So they don't put all the state uncomfortable, when they don't have a power right now, just feel the environment, the non-governmental organizations or the non-profit organizations that ought to be holding people of power and influence like the state are comfortable, like they're that is, they're not the vote at all, you have to be people, but other than that, I want to all the unions are comfortable, like, what's going on with the unions, like, who you do, like, the idea when people say the unions, like the British teachers union in particular, when they can transfer their money, they can't transfer, and I don't like how people say that. But no, I raise my eyebrow, like, what's going on with the union? Like, well, once I was attacked for it, when activists say, no, we only have a handful, and then when this administration could come in, one number, and then the handful get paid position. So that was what they said, and indeed, was that's what these people, and it's a lot of times, why they're this and why they always criticize, and criticism is good, but they always, for me, I feel like there's more criticism when people do something for why they're not doing this better, why they're not doing different. Like solidarity, they're not just one word. What people are doing that for all of we interest of benefits, all of we, and halfway take for good anything, like, we don't know what it is, people the lesser time, and I didn't hold myself uncomfortable because I don't know why people come out and say, I ain't not solidarity with these people, you never hear me come out and say that yet. And that's why I had to call you this morning, because you all be uncomfortable at just the whole analogy and how you experience in Creole especially. People are very repetition, they really make a difference to me this morning, and so sometimes we need to just repeat that thing over and over, and that's why I have an access to a big support for attacking the people, for example, like we were talking about. Because how you explain it, man, like I don't know, I like it, we just say before it just come up, like how like, that's the kind of stuff I expect the hell out of me. When people drop gems where you just survive people, and I don't know if this type of conversation that's something we have to relate to and make a difference. And we need to stop with this democracy, because we don't live in a democratic world. That we need to just stop with this. Because over and over again it's showing that it's not, so we just need to stop. So big respect this morning, more to Corey who dropped that on this morning. Like, this is why I want to believe, because I like that. One love, one of the people.
All right, give thanks, sister. It's 8:48 inside the WB Wake Up Billy's Morning Vibes. Just to, again, I feel that we Billy's Peace Movement, I've said multiple times, like, like the word democracy, because democracy is not democracy is not like a diploma where you got and you know got a diploma. You could talk democracy all you want, you don't got it if you don't live it. And the minute you don't live it, it don't exist. That was something we would talk about. That way how you live. And so no, I don't know how often we find ourselves actually in a democracy. We find certain every now and then, like Power Hot Day, every now and then when he cool breeze blow through, or some puff. Every now and then we get a puff for democracy. Anytime people take up their own agenda, the very concept of people saving the people that ultimately want chant a democracy. So they know that when we use the word, that because we have one illusion that we are existing in that state, it's that we believe that the people supposed to have the power, and that when we first believe that and we start to act that and live that and take control of that when the cool breeze of people run affairs become one reality. Belize peace movement is like a thread, just one thread. You're not going to shirt because you're going to thread, but you can't go on shirt if you're not going to thread. So that more thread we need, more Belize peace movement, then now we could start to see how we could weave on shirt. The shirt. That's how I see it. That's my feeling upon it. Peace movement represent one effort where our group are very important as a blueprint, because we need more people. They're not just calling upon a show or just they write something upon social media or they complain that you don't like something. How we respond, right? How we get together and align ourselves towards achieving the things that we want, be a real part of our society. That way you really come down to, no? And if you have never done that, then today is a good day to start thinking about how you can. We are going to do a final break and come back. All right, we are out of time. We have health and strength. We return tomorrow morning, 6:30 Tuesday morning. Wake Up Billy's Morning Vibes. As always, it don't happen without the team behind the scene. Larry G at Crumb Radio, at XTV. We've got Harlan Wagner in place of the vacationing Cliff Lewis. And in the control room, Miss Krista Flowers. Billy's, as always, give thanks with respect. It's always good having you here on board, listening, watching, and especially calling in. Stand strong, stand firm. For now, we're good!
Wake up, Billy. Wake up, Billy. Wake up, Billy. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place a call in WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show by people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe with the